Hi everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And this is week 6A. The border is called Mr. Darcy and I am going to explain to you how to create the border in 2 videos. So in today's video we will start the border and we will be doing the slip stitch round and the back border. In the next video we will be doing the front border and we will close up the border. But of course that is in the next video. Of course I am going to show you how to do this on my sampler. The part of the reason why I asked you to make a sampler is because not only were you able to use it as a stitch reminder throughout making your blanket, you are also going to be able to practice the border on it. Now you don't have to do a full border around your sampler. All you need to do maybe is just a corner, because you'll be practicing the side, you'll be practicing the corner and the side again. So that's enough, but do have a go onto your sampler. The reason why I am saying that is because, of course, on your blanket at the moment you have lots and lots of ends and they might get in the way, and of course you have to deal with them, but you have got to just leave them there. So I'm going to be able to show you how to do the border and you will be able to practice doing the border without all these ends hanging there. Also, it is quite easy if you can do it in a uniform color here. You are going to have to deal with all these colors, and if you know what you're doing, it's easier to then do it in a multicolored variation. Okay, so I am going to be using the colors that I have used here. So that will be correct, but of course, yes, I am just going to do it onto my sampler here, so I can show you really well what you are supposed to do. You will also need 4 stitch markers to indicate your 4 corners, because I found doing that made life a lot easier. So using mocha, you are going to do a slip stitch all around the edge of your blanket. So let's take a look at the top of the blanket here. So we have our V's, but I think I am going to go round the bodies of the stitches. So on these rows here, I'm going to go round the bodies of the stitches and here as well. And then on the sides, yes, that's always a problem, isn't it? We're going to have to really see how we are going to be picking up the stitches there. So insert your hook in between 2 stitches and pull up a loop just like that, and then go in between the stitches and do slip stitches all around the edge, like so. Now I've chosen mocha. You might not have much left of this color, but you don't need much. It's just that it's an inconspicuous color for the blanket. Now here I am going to go round this stitch here. This is the last double crochet it seems. And then here, yeah, I'm going to start making the side. So I'm going to go into here and do a slip stitch. And this stitch here, which lies almost diagonally, that is going to be my corner stitch. So I'm going to place a stitch marker in there, and this is how I'm going to remember which stitch I'm going to treat as a corner stitch. And now I'm going to start doing the sides. And once again, you know, you have to decide how many stitches you're going to place along the side. As I usually say, I don't think 2 heights of double crochets warrants 4 stitches. So I try to place 1 into a double crochet, then 1 across the 2 stitches, and then 1 again into it. It's just, yeah, just try and make them. See, if you start here, then you'll have an idea of how big your slip stitches are, and then you can just mimic the size here. So take your time to do this. For me to go round this whole blanket to do my slip stitch edging, to do my slip stitch round, it took 3.5 hours. I know that's long, but I have to say I managed to get it nice and straight, nice and spaced out, and it's so worth just sitting there and looking for each stitch where you are going to put it. It's an incredibly mindful task. And although it took a while, I was so pleased I did it slowly, because what could easily happen, look, is this. Let me show you. See, look how straight these are, and look how jagged this is. And you are going to see this when you put your stitches on. Okay, so you must make sure that you do this really, really nicely. Slowly, take your time to try and get into the location that you really want to get into, and stick to the side, because we have done a double crochet on every row. We started every row or a half double crochet with a double crochet or a half double crochet, and we ended every row with a double crochet or a half double crochet. So the fabric is there for you to work in, so make sure you do. Okay, so this is how you're going to go around your whole piece, your whole blanket, indicating each time the corners and doing sort of a little stitch that's a little bit diagonal, and just choose that as your corner. Okay, so I've gone round the whole outside of my sampler here, indicating the corners with stitch markers. I've just done my last stitch here. I'm going to cut off the yarn, because you sort of have to do a little trick. So you pull it through and then you bring that through underneath the first V that you made, and then back into there. There we go. Okay, of course you can also use a needle, but I said you didn't need a needle, so I'm trying to do it with a crochet hook. Okay, so let the ends hang out, because of course they will also disappear into the border, just like all your other ends are going to. So this is now going to be the front of your blanket. This is where the V's are. So we are going to get started on the back of the blanket, because it's harder to pick up the one strand than it is later on to pick up the two strands. Okay, so with the one strand of the slip stitch facing you, and of course knowing where your stitch markers are, you might want to reposition them so they're on the right side. We are now going to do the first row of the border. So in Sage, you are going to make a slip knot, and you're going to get started anywhere on the blanket with a standing half double crochet. So you yarn over, and you are going to go under any slip stitch that you've done here, just picking up the slip stitch, and you do your half double crochet like so. And you are going to place a half double crochet under every slip stitch like this, except in the slip stitches that have the stitch marker in, because they are going to be your corner. So let me get to the corner. And once again, this row took a long time as well, because it is very often quite hard to pick up your stitch. Look, I'm yarning over, but then I sort of twist my hook so I can pick up that strand a lot easier. So here I can see that this is the one where the stitch marker is in. So I'm going to do a corner here. 2 half double crochets, 1 chain and 2 half double crochets, all in that same stitch. And again back into that same stitch for my 2 more half double crochets. There we go. Okay, so I've now made a little corner, and looking for those loops here, yeah, you are going to go under every strand from your slip stitch row. Like you can see, it's not that easy to get under this, and in my example here, of course, I can see very clearly where I'm going to go under, and I can see it clearly as well if I pick up something wrong. So if you are doing this in the colors of the blanket, pay very close attention that you are picking up those mocha strands that you've just put in with your slip stitch border and nothing else. Okay, and also make sure that all those ends that are hanging out, that they are here. Okay, they should be behind where we are working. So this is the first row of the back border, and you are going to do quite a few rows, of course, but this row is the hardest because you are picking up the slip stitches. So I will be back when I am here to continue the border. And I have made it to the end of my row here, and I am just going to do a slip stitch under the first V, not the standing stitch, because for me that just closes up, so just like that, and then I end up on top of the standing stitch. And the second row of this border is going to be a double crochet row in the same color, so you just chain up and start doing your double crochets. All the other rows are a different color, so make sure you go to the blog to find the colors. Now you are going to do 5 rows for the border. So I have just started my second row, and you keep doing your stitches and your corners in the same way. So here I'm doing 2 double crochets, 1 chain and 2 double crochets. And then off you go again, placing double crochets on top of the double crochets. And then the next row is a half double crochet row. So do go and make sure you find out what to do on the blog. Now, I will see you now in the second video of this week, where we are going to be doing the front border. So good luck for this week. So try it out on your sampler, but then of course also you're going to have to do it on your actual blanket. So good luck with creating your back border, and I will see you in the next video. If you have any pictures that you want to share, do go to the Facebook group where you can post them. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!